a conversion should equal a lead. So a cold hard lead.
You're listening to Reply Talk, a podcast designed to provide actionable marketing strategies and valuable insights around apartment marketing. Hosted by Corbin Wright.
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Michael Eastep. I am the Director of Operations for Reply. Got Corbin.
My name's Corbin Wright, founder, CEO of Reply.
And today we're going to do a kind of a quick hitter. It's going to be the five biggest PPC mistakes in the multifamily industry.
All
so
right.
I'm going to let Corbin kind of dive in, go one by one up to the fifth, and we'll kind of discuss back and forth.
Yeah, so I think that the first one is setting up your conversion metrics wrong.
It seems like super simple. Like, how could you mess that up?
Dude, it happens.
Yeah,
It happens.
no, I know it does. But, what are some of the ways that it could possibly be messed
So
up?
your conversion metrics. Let me start out with retail conversion metrics and give an example. So in retail, there's conversion metrics, and we're talking about PPC. So in retail, putting something in a shopping cart can be a conversion.
Right.
Taking something out of the shopping cart can be, you can be a negative conversion, or getting to filling up your shopping cart that meets a certain amount of money is a level of conversions.
Right. So what should be a
So
conversion?
in multifamily conversions, a conversion should equal a lead. So
Right.
cold hard lead. So we want somebody to either submit a form or call and have that call last a certain amount of time that
specific to the community.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I think one of the things that we found initially is, a lot of companies are different, right? The automated system that they may have to walk through from a phone call to begin with. Does that take 60 seconds to get through? Does it take 90 seconds, right? But ultimately, at the end of the day, we want a guest card created. We want that conversion in AdWords, in your PPC efforts, to be a guest card.
yeah. So when we're looking at your cost per conversion in PPC, like it should be your cost per lead. Because it's a lead. There's going to be that level of there's a little bit of error because we are basing it off of phone calls in a certain amount of time, but really it should be pretty in line with a conversion equals a lead. And also too, so maybe I know that we kind of frown upon this, but sending traffic to your website and it connecting with your chat bot and them actually like filling out a form or connecting and giving their information there, that would be a conversion. So yeah, first one, it drives me crazy, as making sure that your conversions
It's one of those multifamily
equals
quirks.
a lead.
Yep.
And if you guys, if you have an agency running your PPC, anybody that's running your PPC, ask them, what are our conversion metrics? What do they set up as? What do we count as a conversion? And see what they tell you. Because it should not be clicks.
See if they'll tell you.
Don't let it be clicks or watching a video a certain amount of time. Like, that's not a conversion.
Yeah.
What are they converting on?
Right.
Watching my video for 30 seconds? Like,
Right.
it's crazy.
Yeah. And before we dive too deep into that, I think
We'll stay high level on
yeah,
these.
stay high level on that. But I mean, I think we all can agree that it needs to be specific to your property, your community, and the way that those conversions are set up is very crucial, right? It's got to be a 60-second phone call, a 90-second phone call, 120-second. But
Yeah.
your PPC efforts, the person running those, the team running those, needs to do their due diligence. And if they're not, you need to start asking questions.
For sure.
So next up, number 2 of the 5 biggest PPC mistakes in multifamily.
So this we talked briefly about it.
Briefly.
It's running your traffic to your website. So paid traffic. So when you have a campaign going and you're doing your PPC, whether it's Google or
great
Bing,
place to get lost.
it is. It's too much. And also, there's a lot of factors that play into your search marketing, your PPC. Google is extremely smart. And
Sure are.
and when they are looking at your ads, they're wanting to see relevancy in your ad copy to your page. And when you run them to a website, you only have they get what they get. You know, you're not changing your website to cater towards your ads. Maybe you're running a special offer, and sometimes you can't edit your website to display your special offer.
Not easily.
Not easily.
Not in a cheap way by any means.
So running your paid traffic to your website, we recommend, and we are very adamant about this, is running it to landing pages.
Segmented landing pages. And dive into that a little bit more. So what's a segmented landing page? Yeah, I mean, it all depends on the PPC efforts that you're running, right? The capabilities that you have, right? But we have the capability, with our landing pages to segment those based on where you might be in your journey, what type of ad you're serving that customer. So pricing. We've tested a lot of landing pages, and one thing that seems to be above all when it comes to interest is what's the price?
Pricing.
Right. Price and special offer. You put a couple buttons at the top of the page and a form at the top of the page, see special offer, see pricing.
Those are the two that are crushing it. And the way that we tell is we run heat maps on them, and we see where that activity is, where the click activity is, what buttons are driving those conversions. Sure.
And over time you can flip another variation super quick, move that information up, right? And then even, depending on what type of, campaign you're running or where your efforts are, or where your people are in that journey, where your prospects are in that journey, maybe it's a shortened page.
Yeah.
Hit them with that quick bit of information, right? Capture that. That could be some of your, the people that are clicking on schedule a tour today, right? I want to schedule a tour. I don't want to know, everything about the community. What I do know I want to do is I want to schedule a tour. I want to schedule a tour. I want to come in and see it. And you know what? The best thing that I think you can do is once they submit that information, send them to a thank you page, and then provide the opportunities to find more information.
Learn more.
Right?
Absolutely.
To learn more, to go to the website, to call the community, right? But serving them that relevancy up front, quick bits of information and not too much information, it has been super key for us. Absolutely. And that's why we've implemented those landing pages.
And I'm so for landing pages because it's kind of your best practice, like PPC best practice. Also in pretty much all the other industries.
Like other industries, this industry, right? A lot of those campaigns are getting sent to the floor plans page.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not a bad idea, right? But segmenting that out and sending it to a floor plans landing page where you can truly track that ROI is what a PPC landing page is meant to do, and what it's meant to do in other industries is truly track that ROI. Mm-hmm. And what we've seen is that when you send it to your website, it's really easy to lose that ROI. It's hard.
People have to search, and that experience just kind of gets lost because they've got you expect them to search around all of your website to find what they need. You got to guide them. And what's better if you're looking for, a 3-bedroom townhome and you search it on Google and then you're served an ad with a landing page that's highlighting a 3-bedroom townhome, like boom, we're giving it right to you on a platter. We're giving you everything that you want and what you need. And then you can learn more. Point. But we want to be able to serve.
I serve you exactly what you're looking for, right? It's like
you're one step closer,
right? It's like that age old red shoes example. Like I want to be served a landing. If I search for red shoes, I don't want you to show me blue, black, pink.
That's exactly
green,
what it is,
right? I want red shoes.
Yeah,
right. So if I search for 3-bedroom apartments in Decatur, don't serve me.
Give me a damn 3-bedroom apartment.
Show me the 3-bedroom apartments, but. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Number 3.
So number 3, setting a company benchmark for your cost per lease and lead on PPC.
Tell me more.
So a company benchmark. Okay, so it has to be. We need a $3 cost per click, and your cost per lead for PPC needs to be $250.
Better be run in branded terms only.
Yeah. I mean, so the reason why you can't do this is because PPC is demand driven and it's variable. It's not like an ILS. So ILS is you're spending the same amount in it's a package. So you're spending the same amount based on the package. And it's not a variable cost. So PPC, say you get into the Atlanta market, you get into Buckhead. Well, people are competing against each other in these markets, which drives that cost of your clicks up. And holding markets to a specific standard or benchmark isn't right.
It always kills me to see industry cost per lead and industry cost per lease, right? That's not doing anybody any justice, right? What if I'm a property management company that's only got properties on the West Coast in California, right? Or I've only got properties in Texas in the competitive markets.
Yeah, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Austin cost per click's like $550.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right? And you could have
Tampa's expensive.
You could have a heck of a quality score, right? And you could even be running branded efforts, but from an overall campaign perspective, you can't attach just a regular benchmark for every market. And I think that's a very good point, that it's going to be variable. What you should do is, if you have communities across several markets, is do what?
You do benchmarks by market, by metro. So it even comes down to the metro. Like you can be in
by community, by a set of by the community segmentation, right?
Exactly. So it all depends on don't set a benchmark for your whole company when it comes to PPC, because you're just you're going to get somebody that's going to get screwed over. Yeah, and I think if you've got something to say about that, if you've got some feedback and some comments, we'd love to hear what your thoughts on the first three. We're going to jump into a couple. Yeah. So
the next one, right, is something that you feel pretty strongly about. It
drives me nuts. Bidding on your competitors' keywords. This has to be a perfect storm on this, and everybody's bid on the competitor keywords. And I literally used to say this, and I went to an agency when I was in marketing for Cortland.
Probably
and
gave them hell, didn't you?
I did. And I was like, well, why aren't we bidding on our competitor keywords? And we want to be here. But this is where I saw the light, and it's like, I was wrong. Mm-hmm. And when you really start to dive into AdWords and Google and really understand the inner workings of how it all works and how smart Google is, Google understands if you're bidding on your competitors' keywords that they're branded terms.
Unless if you are bidding on your competitor keywords and you do want to create that relevancy and try to even pull a decent quality score, you're going to get your shit ripped down.
Yeah,
right. Google's too smart, and unless you're going to do the wrong thing, right, which we won't do. So I think one of the things that's important for us to mention is, we do this for some of our customers at their request, and we set the right level of expectation. Hey, we can bid on these all we want, and we can set our bids as high as we want, right? But Google's smart.
And you're going to get dinged.
You're going to get dinged. Your quality score is going to get dinged, even if you set it up in a completely different group.
Yeah,
right?
It's going to hurt your account. But when it comes down to it, is those aren't your branded words, and you're only hurting yourself. And if you do, you have to be super, super strategic in your content and in your ads, and spin it in a way that people understand that you are not who they're searching. Because they're searching for a reason. And not only are you getting maybe their prospect traffic, but you're getting their resident traffic. And
don't you dare throw a mobile call extension.
Well, yeah. So whatever you do, if you're bidding on branded keywords on somebody else's competitor branded keywords, don't run a mobile call extension, because we're creatures of habit. And what do we do when we search somebody? So I'm living in an apartment. Let's say I'm living at Sky House Buckhead, down in Buckhead, and I search Sky House Buckhead because I'm a resident. I want to call them because I've got a work order, and I'm not Corbin. I'm just a typical person that just searches on their phone. First thing that pops up, I see something with a phone number. We're trained to think that first number is the number that we search, because Google, we get that everywhere else when we're looking for car parts or whatever.
The easier you make it.
Yeah. The easier you make it, the easier it is to click. So you click on that and you call, and then the next thing you know it, they say, this is
there goes $4.
This is the Scion.
There goes.
How can I help you?
Yep.
And they're like, well, I didn't want this.
Sure.
And then I've had this before, where somebody says, well, that's an opportunity. And I love you sales guys. You guys are awesome and stuff. And yeah, it's an opportunity.
But I've come from the dark side, right? I've seen the light myself, right?
Yeah.
I am that sales guy. I was that, right? But you live and you learn. And after you see enough negative effects from that, you start to realize that your efforts are better spent elsewhere.
Absolutely.
Right? There's better efforts that you can make from a PPC perspective. So bidding on competitor keywords, very difficult thing to do, very difficult thing to do.
More than likely going to hurt you.
More than likely going to hurt you. For all our Google friends out there, we know how smart you are.
If you're bidding on, if you disagree,
let us know why.
Let us know.
Love to know why.
We would love to talk to you and see if there's a different strategy that you're doing and it's working.
Just make sure you're doing the right thing.
But it can be super detrimental to your account health and your
quality score is key. I think one thing that we found out from our Google our Google friends is quality score is key. If you're not making efforts to improve your quality score, you're just going to continue to get dinged. You're going to pay higher. So why throw something in there that's only going to hurt you?
Agree. So
last but not least,
was bidding on competitor keywords. Don't do it. So last one, not monitoring your search queries.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this one can really bite you in the ass. So not monitoring your search queries. This is a tough one. This isn't a tough one. It's an easy one. So your search queries are what people search for. And then what your ad pulls for from their search. So it's like what they search for and why your ad triggers off of that search. So say that somebody, what's an example? So say that somebody searches fire at exchange at North Haven. Well, if you have this really, broad keyword, phrase, the fire picks up, it triggers the ad. And you don't want to trigger that ad when it says fire.
Well, exchange at North Haven triggers the ad.
Yeah.
Yes. If you're using I think what you're trying to say, right, is if you got broad match terms in your campaign, yes, right, you're going to pull for
everything.
Pretty much damn near anything and everything, yeah, right? And, it has its benefits and it has its downfalls, right? You're going to get a lot of visibility. It's going to cost you a shitload of money.
Yep.
But you'll get that visibility. It'll allow you to show for some of those colloquial terms that, I think one of the things we saw recently was, East Austin, Southwest Austin. But if you're bidding on apartments in Austin as a broad match term, you will show up for those things,
yeah,
right? But do you want to, right? Are you kind of excluding those locations where you see fit?
Yep.
Is it necessary or is it better for you to throw in some phrase match or some exact match? But what it goes back to is you monitoring your search queries to see if that's even something.
People are searching for it. So if they're searching for it and it's pulling your ads and it's not relevant to what you
allows you to pull back those broad match terms, spend a little bit less money and focus on phrase and exact match.
So I think this is a way better example than what I just gave, is apartments near me under $700.
Oh.
So in that case, you would want to make sure that
there's nothing wrong with apartments near me.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with apartments. Yeah.
There is not. But if that is not what,
if it's
that is outside of your price point, then
you want to negative it out.
You need a negative out, right? And if that's coming up,
apartments near me, second chance. Nothing wrong with that if you're not
second chance if that's what you're looking for.
If that's what you're looking for and that's what your community is. So,
but if you're not monitoring your search queries, right? You have no way of knowing what you need to negative out.
Yeah.
Right. And even if you do know what at the end of the day, you can negative those things out all day, every day, as many times, however you want. And I've still seen things show.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got to monitor.
You got to stay on top of it.
You got to stay on top of it. Right. And that's something that, from an agency standpoint, you should be looking at those things all the time.
Every single day.
Right. But you'd be doing yourself as a disservice as a marketing person or a marketing manager, not looking at those things as well.
For sure.
Because we're all human.
And
as
do
much
that.
As I don't sleep.
Ask those questions. I mean, he literally looks at search queries for fun. It's weird. But
ask what you got to do.
Ask your agency. Ask whoever's running your PPC. Where are searches coming from? What's pulling? Just take a look at them. You should have that visibility. You should check them out and see what's going on. And if there's stuff that's irrelevant, get them out of there.
Yeah.
And get those things up.
Before we ask you to leave any comments, any more feedback, just a quick recap of the 5 biggest PPC mistakes in multifamily. Setting up conversion metrics wrong. So making sure that your conversions are equaling a guest card, right?
Yep.
Running your paid traffic to your website. Can be fitting in very small cases, but what you should be doing, this is our best practice. This is a PPC best practice. This is a reply best practice, but in general, you should be sending your paid traffic to a landing page that can track your ROI.
Anybody's ads that we manage, we set up landing pages for you because it is
conversions can't get lost if they're going to a landing page.
Exactly.
Setting a company benchmark, regardless of if you have you have communities in several different markets, you're setting a company benchmark, right? You can't you can't set a company benchmark if metrics and costs are different across different markets, right? It's a variable cost. Bidding on competitor keywords, we suggest not to. And there's a multitude of reasons why not, and we feel like that might be a touchy subject in some cases. So
mostly
there's
because
a lot of feedback on that.
You're gonna get dinged.
Yeah, and not monitoring your search queries. Pay attention to your search queries. Do the research. I promise it'll be worth it. Could save you a lot of money in the long run. There's a lot of great tools out there, and there's a lot of great companies out there that'll provide you that feedback, provide you that transparency that we promise to create. So if you've got anything to say about those 5, leave us a comment below.
Shoot us an email.
Send
us a message on LinkedIn. And if you're interested in what we do, check us out.
Take a quick second and
Reply360. Oh, God, that was our old URL.
Come on, man.
repli360.com.
And we'd love a 5-star rating on the podcast. If you could go ahead and subscribe, we'd genuinely appreciate it. But leave us a comment below. Reach out to us in any fashion that you see fit. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right, guys.
Thank you.